The wine glass trembled in my hand as I stared at my uncle across the weathered oak table. 10 years of bottled-up resentment simmered just below the surface.
And tonight,
At this carefully staged family gathering, I was ready to let it out, not in a storm of shouts, but with the quiet force of truth that hits like a desert wind. My name is Emily Carter, and for 35 years, I've been the steady hand in a family full of wild cards. Growing up in the dusty outskirts of Phoenix, Arizona, where the sun beats down on Red Rock canyons and everyone knows everyone's business, I learned early that silence was my shield. I work as the lead accountant at Southwest Financial Group in downtown Phoenix. Every day at dawn, I drive my reliable SUV through the waking city, past saguaro cactuses standing like sentinels, into an office where numbers add up and risks are calculated. It's solid ground in a world where my kin have always chased mirages. My father passed away a decade ago, a massive heart attack at 52, the doctors said. But I knew the real culprit, the bone-deep worry that comes from bailing out a brother who couldn't stop betting on bad hands. Dad had been a ranch hand turned small-time property owner, fixing up modest rentals in places like Mesa and Tempe, where hardworking folks needed affordable roofs. Nothing flashy, just duplexes and triplexes that paid the bills. He'd scrimped and saved, teaching me the value of a dollar earned honestly.
Mom,
Bless her heart, had her own struggles, 2 bankruptcies from impulse buys and medical bills before I even finished college. After Dad died, she downsized to a cozy trailer in Scottsdale, picking up shifts at a local diner. She never dug into the details of Dad's holdings. She trusted Uncle Jack to sort it all. Uncle Jack, Dad's younger brother, was the family legend, the one who'd struck it rich in real estate during the boom years. He'd roll up to barbecues in a shiny pickup, bragging about flipping land in the Valley of the Sun. But when the 2008 crash hit like a flash flood, he showed up at our door one midnight, smelling of bourbon and bad luck. Emily, darlin', he'd slurred, just weeks after the funeral. Your pa would want us looked after. These properties need a pro's touch. You're young. Let me handle the legwork. I was 25, fresh out of school, buried in sorrow. Mom was lost in her grief, staring at old photos. Jack slid papers across our kitchen counter, temporary management docs.
he swore.
I signed them, God forgive me, without a second glance. Those rentals disappeared into Jack's desperate schemes. By the time I woke up to the mess, the inheritance was dust. Market tanked, he claimed. But public records told a different tale. He'd used them as collateral for risky loans, pouring cash into failed subdivisions that never saw a shovel. Since then, I've been the family's safety net. Cousin Megan needs help with her latest surefire boutique. Emily's got it. Mom's AC conks out in the summer heat. Emily wires the funds. Jack's next big flip needs seed money. Emily won't let family down. They stopped asking, they just assumed. And when I finally drew the line on Megan's plea for 10 grand to launch her eco-jewelry line, she called me heartless. You pull in 6 figures, she spat. Dad always said blood looks out for blood. But Dad was gone, and I was weary of the quiet role. I live solo in a restored adobe home in Tempe, pieced together over 5 years with my own sweat. Every room is simple, sunlit,
Serene, no clutter.
just peace. Neighbors peg me as the career gal, wedded to her spreadsheets. They don't know about my savvy investments, the properties I've snapped up quietly in growing suburbs. I took Dad's lessons to heart, but dodged Jack's pitfalls. The last family get-together I'd endured was 2 Christmases back, at Mom's trailer. Jack had been hitting the bottle hard. Megan pitched another venture. Mom kept saying how Dad would smile down on us all together. I'd shown up with gifts, nice ones, as expected. When Jack cornered me about a can't-miss land deal, I said no. Flat out. The air went still. After all I've done, Jack had growled. Now you turn stingy? I left before pie, driving through twinkling holiday lights. My pulse racing not from fury, but from seeing clear.
I was just their fallback plan.
2 years of radio silence followed. No calls. No drop-ins. I thought I'd broken free. Then the invite landed, a fancy envelope in my mailbox. Mom's familiar script. Dearest Emily, join us for my 65th. Saturday, October 14th, 7 p.m. at the Canyon Lodge. Not her trailer, but a swanky spot with views of the Superstition Mountains. Someone else was paying, and I suspected who. I mulled it over for days before texting yes. Responses flooded in. Mom's emojis. Megan's miss ya. Jack stayed quiet, but the old group chat buzzed. Saturday brought a crisp fall chill. I dressed sharp, a fitted blouse and jeans that said success without show. The lodge glowed with string lights, red rock cliffs framing the patio. Through the windows, I spotted them at a long table, Mom in a new sundress, Jack in a faded blazer, Megan sparkling too bright.
Assurta relativa si destapat.
Emily, Mom rose, hugging tight, her scent of desert rose perfume stirring memories. Over her shoulder, Jack lifted his glass mockingly. Look who's back from the high country. I sat between Mom and Cousin Brad, far from Jack. Appetizers were half gone. They'd started without me. We got the queso, Megan beamed. Your fave. I hated queso, but smiled thanks. Talk swirled. Jack's latest flip in Chandler. Megan's engagement to some guy named Derek, absent. Aunt Linda's knee surgery. Like old times, pretending the rift never happened. Emily's climbing the ladder, Mom announced. Lead accountant now. Murmurs of congrats. Jack poured more wine. Must be nice.
No gambles.
Stability's my game, I replied softly. Some chase dreams, he countered. Mom tensed. We're celebrating. Entrees arrived, grilled salmon for me. Ribeye for Jack.
Pasta for Mom.
It all tasted flat, but I ate, counting down. So,
In megaliana di. I'm launching sustainable accessories.
Derek loves it. Need backers? Wanna chat?
No.
It dropped like a stone. Megan flushed. Details first. Still no. Selfish as ever, Jack mumbled. I set my fork down. Is that your story, Uncle Jack? Mom whispered. Enough. But he stood, wobbling.
No.
Mary, let's air it. She judges us all from her ivory tower. Tower? Try hard work. The table hushed. I didn't steal squat, Jack said, eyes shifting. Bad market. Market didn't fake my signature on those loans. Mom gasped. Emily.
What?
I looked at her worn face. Nothing.
Mom.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Keep quiet, Jack sneered. Bet you're still sore about it all. The words lingered.
A dare.
2 years quiet. And they still saw me as the easy mark. I smiled. Genuine for once. You're right,
Jack.
I am sore. But not why you think. The bourbon had loosened Jack's lips more than usual. He lounged back, smirking, while the family eyed us like coyotes circling a scrap. Admit it, Emily, he drawled, swirling his glass. 2 years pouting. And now you see family's thicker than water. Past is past. Right? I sipped water, letting the quiet build. Megan twisted her napkin. Mom's grin faltered. What's hilarious? Jack pressed. Is your dad calling you the sharp one? Book smarts.
Yeah.
But street sense. He tapped his head. That's spotting chances. Those rentals were anchors. I cut em loose to save us. Save us.
My voice stayed even.
The crash was brutal. I had no how.
Contact.
You were green. Clerking numbers. Oh, me thanks. Aunt Linda hushed about volume. Brad slipped to the restroom. But Jack rolled on, booze fueling his spiel. Look at you now, nice threads.
Cush job.
Thrived without those shacks. I watched him refill. Hands shaky. The big shot reduced to barbs at dinner. Almost sad. If pity fit. Still hung up on those foreclosures, he chuckled. Too loud. Heads turned from nearby tables. Geez.
Ink.
Decade gone. Move on. His dismissal stung as aimed, shrinking my pain to a joke. Nervous titters followed, Megan's hand over mouth. Even Mom's twitch. I set my glass down. Smile turning edge. You still scraping by? Laughter died. Jack reddened. That's apples to oranges. Is it? I faced the group. Tone casual. Lost your empire. Backers cash. Home. Trucks.
Cred.
But hey. Past is past. Emily, Mom's pitch rose. You're right.
Mom.
Weather chat. Chilly for fall. Ha! Silence thundered. Jack gripped his glass, white-knuckled. Megan soured. Mom glanced between us. Plotting peace. Always Jack muttered. Jack. Mom cut in.
What?
She's too good for us. He drained, grabbed the bottle. Your pod roll in his grave. Salmon soured in my mouth. But I chewed.
Grinned. That breached honor.
Skipped you somehow. Dessert? Aunt Linda begged. Tiramisu's tops. But Jack surged. Truth time.
Eminencia.
Your saintly dad knew those buys, slum spots and bad hoods. I fixed his mess with loans for my resort bid. Eyes widened. He slipped. I wasn't meant to know. How'd you? County records?
Jack.
Open book. Mom rose. Time to wrap.
Seat. Mary.
Jack's tone soured. Let her rant. Bottled 2 years. I folded my napkin.
Wrong.
I've moved forward. Built solid while you chase ghosts. What the I built? He puffed up. Backers ready. Prime Chandler flip, top dog soon. Backers? Locals or ghosts in Phoenix? Silence answered. Thought so. I stood. Wallet out.
200 for grub.
Happy birthday. Mom. Leaving.
Mom's voice shrank.
I kissed her cheek. Sage and sorrow. Thanks for the invite. Eye-opener. Jack lurched up. Bolting again. I paused. Not bolting. Just done wasting breath. Met his bleary gaze. Enjoy the pour. Heard premium stretching your wallet soon. Voices erupted as I left. Mom's please. Jack's curses. Outside. The desert night cooled sharp. I sat in my SUV 5 minutes, watching stars over mountains. Then drove home. Mind on the file box in my study, the decade's proof. Waiting. Jack figured my bitterness was cash and closings. He didn't grasp the storm brewing. My study was my fortress. But that night, it turned strategy hub. I hauled the box labeled Dad's Estate from the closet, spreading docs chronologically. Dad's will first, notarized. Clear, rentals in trust for me till 30. Jack as interim manager, not owner. Then transfers I signed post-funeral. Legalese maze. But buried. Temp shift for admin only.
Ide trustablin.
My laptop fired up. I hit Arizona's public portals. Deeds. Taxes.
Lia.
Timeline emerged. March 2014. Titles to Jack. June. Mortgage on Mesa Duplex. September. Second on Tempe Triplex. December. Collateral for Desert Oasis Resorts LLC. March 2015. Foreclosures start.
July.
Auctioned off. It screamed fraud, fiduciary breach under Arizona law, where executors can't self-deal without court okay. Statute? 10 years for civil claims, but criminal fraud had wiggle if new evidence surfaced. I'd consulted a lawyer quietly last year, viable if pursued smart. But revenge?
Nah.
I wanted justice humane expose, not crush. Phone buzzed. Megan's text.
WTFing?
Uncle's wrecked. Ignored.
Instead.
Research Jack's latest. Chandler flip via public RFP for urban renewal. City sought bids with community perks, affordable units. Green spaces. Jack's pitch? Flashy. Underfunded. I had connections now, network from work. Investors wary of his rep. Next morning, I called Marcus Ruiz, a solid developer I'd met at a chamber event. Emily, what's up? That Chandler RFP, interested in partnering? We met at a coffee spot in Scottsdale. Plotting a bid. My capital. His track record. Focus on sustainable housing for locals hit by booms and busts. Jackson? Marcus asked.
Yeah.
But our plan's cleaner, real audits.
No smoke.
We submitted quietly, emphasizing ethics. Community lift. Weeks passed, city leaned our way. But I kept it hush, hoping Jack might pivot. Thanksgiving neared, tension built. Mom texted, dinner tomorrow, 4 p.m. Crucial. Word of our bid must have leaked. I went, sweater and slacks signaling calm strength. Mom's trailer smelled of turkey and unease. She hugged long. Glad you're here. Crew assembled. Megan sulking. No Derek, Aunt Linda sipping. Brad whispering with his wife. Jack in Dad's old chair. Shrunk. Suit baggy. Emily. No rise. Happy Thanksgiving. Air thick. Waiting for spark. Mom chattered over sides. We sat. I faced Jack over Bird. Grace? Mom suggested. Jack led. Lord. Thanks for kin. Guide through trials. Wisdom for blessings. Strength to forgive wrongs.
Amen. Dig at me.
Dishes passed quiet. Megan cracked. M's buzzing biz journal piece.
What?
Mom asked. Chandler Dev. Her groups snagged it. Big bucks. Proud of you, Mom said faint. Jack sliced me precise.
Dang.
Good for the area, I said. Revives without squeezing folks. Sudden care for hoods, Jack muttered. Always have. Build up. Not bet away. Knife scraped. Success on backs ain't real. Spot on. Aunt Linda gulped wine. How's your gig?
Jack.
Megan chirped. Evolving. Selling used trucks on I-10 lot, Brad added. Temp, Jack snapped. Honest works fine, I said sincere. His utensil clattered. Don't patronize. Meant it. Integrity matters. He barked laugh. Honesty? Admit you've tanked me. Invested legit. If it clashes, check your path. You swayed the city. Facts did. Still bitter. Voice rose. Decade on. Soar over properties. Magic phrase. I met eyes. You still scraping? He purpled. Vindictive, Jack. Mom cracked. He stood.
No.
Mary. She's iced my comeback. Your choices iced it. I calm.
Resort flop.
Shady loans. Swiping brother's legacy.
No swipe.
I pulled envelope from bag. Explain this. I slid the papers across the table. Copies of emails. Deeds.
Yeah.
And the kicker. A sworn statement from Jack's old lawyer, Tom Harlan. Jack blanched. Where'd this come from? Harlan grew a spine. Kept notes on your orders to fudge dates. Hide the resort denial from the gaming board. Rush foreclosures before I questioned. Mom lifted a sheet. Hands quaking. Jack. True. Complicated. It's breach of trust, I said. Arizona law's clear. Executors can't profit personally without disclosure. Civil suit possible. DAI's fraud if patterns hold. You went to prosecutors? Voice broke. Not yet. Your call. Stairs pinned me. Want what? Jack whispered. Admit it here. Own the harm. Apologize to Dad's spirit. Emily, Mom begged. Holiday. Yes. Thankful for truth. Back to Jack. Confess or court. He slumped. Clock ticked. I took him, he murmured. New resort dead. But leveraged anyway.
Lost you.
To Mom. Said nothing left, but pocketed $60K from loans. Mom crumpled. Megan gasped. Aunt Linda poured. Sorry, Jack went on.
Desperate.
Thought protecting, but saving my skin. Words settled heavy. I gathered docs. Thanks for owning up.
Nuda.
That's it, Megan asked. You append him? I stood. Didn't append. Just spoke up. Clock chimed 5 as I grabbed coat. Leaving.